Hey everybody, it's Maiku, and why don't we watch the show where I break down one of my favorite movies and try to answer the question, why don't we watch this? Today's movie debuted in 2005. Highlights of the year include Harry Potter, The Goblet of Fire, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Suck, the Steven Spielberg and Tom Cruise flop, War of the Who Cares, Peter Jackson's epic movie adaptation of near bestiality, King Kong, and almost mediocre Mr. and Mrs. Smith, or How to Break Up a Basic-Ass Marriage starring Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, back when he was actually a star. Most importantly, the much slept on 4 Golden Raspberry Award winner, Dirty Love, starring the lady with more strikeouts than hits, but this time she actually managed to sort of hit my fantasy best friend and former Playboy playmate, Jenny McCarthy. Written by Mrs. McCarthy herself and directed by her then husband John Ashner. Wait, how's that? Who's he? This guy has a marginal acting career littered with nondescript roles such as Bob, Usher, and Guy and Hall. Also, he wrote and directed the movie Taken, a basic, bullshit Taken spoof that nobody will admit that they saw. Anyway, turns out he and Jenny married back when Y2K was more than just an easy punchline, and divorced the month the movie was released. This movie does not deserve that much credit. It can't have that much power. It's not Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Let's jump right in.
Ooh, do you want some of this? Huh? Come on, I got what it takes.
Jenny M plays struggling photographer Rebecca Summers and opens with a fair amount of overacting, but with a point, as this comedy sits in that realm just removed from reality, in that zero fuck zone. And yes, I'm reviewing the unrated version. She has a flashback to the night before when she finds her model, now ex-boyfriend Richard in bed with another woman. I will fully admit that his acting in this scene and in the entire movie is OTT. Over the top, but this moment here when he finishes, look at that face. It's devastatingly charming. Dude, you get my props. I now see why Rebecca fell for you. She then leaves and seemingly drowns her sorrows thoroughly. Where we are back to the present, as she loses it on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and stumbles into the shop of a mostly rude and snarky medium played by a typecast Kathy Griffin, who tells her that in order to reap the rewards of love, she must find the white pony, and it won't be easy because, as with any comedy, shenanigans must ensue. After our Swiss cheese style plot is set up, we move on to meet a trio of Rebecca's squad. There's American Pie's resident shitbreak Eddie K. Thomas as her assistant John, who is in love with Rebecca, though she hasn't figured it out yet, because girls, right? Next, we have Carmen Electra as Michelle, or Shell, a non-person of color with a lifelong identity crisis. I have to add that though the bar is set very, very low, this is her best acting to date. She is definitely the second best actor in the movie. Only because, lastly, we have my favorite, Carrie, megalomaniacal amateur aspiring actress but professional idiot. Her voice is perfect for this character. It sounds like the air in her head is escaping out of her irises. It's sublime. It's Brittany from Daria, all grown up. After visiting the medium, Rebecca calls Carrie and has this exchange that is my first favorite quote of the flick. Enjoy.
Hey, you want to start jogging?
Come get me, let's jog.
Are you on crack, Rebecca? I am not jogging.
Please?
Have you seen my boobs lately?
Yeah, they're pretty.
Of course they are, and you know why? Because I don't fucking jog. Besides, I have my Animal Kingdom audition in a couple of hours.
Want to go shopping?
Okay.
While shopping with Carrie, Rebecca calls Shell to go and retrieve her photography equipment with John in tow. All of a sudden, there's a handsome fellow, but of course, it doesn't work out. I've never seen a girl asked to lie so that the dude can save face after being caught. And this has never happened either. These types of scenes are well placed and contain a gag that I think works effectively because we have this sort of absurd reality or hallucinations, but they take place in a pseudo-reality anyway. Meanwhile, Shell and John break into Rebecca and Richard's home. Given our second gratuitous and ginormous portrait of himself, I'm beginning to think this house is merely Richard's. They find her equipment damaged and inoperable. Richard shows up, John pathetically confronts him, and Shell's interaction is favorite quote number 2.
What up, dick? Just a little wanted? That ain't mud on your bed.
We then move ahead to Carrie's audition where Rebecca's broken heart and man troubles continue. She nearly acquires a new stalker, but luckily hallucinates her way out of this. Meanwhile, Chrissy does this.
Here at the Animal Kingdom, we bring you non-stop excitement. In a world filled with lions and tigers and bears, oh,
which results in her acquiring dates for Richard Fashion Show with 2 Woody Allen impersonators. The goal is to make her narcissistic ex-boyfriend jealous, but this being a comedy, we're already sure this won't work out. The question is, but how? How won't it work? At the fashion show, Rebecca's dress is barely hanging on as she attempts to make her model ex-boyfriend jealous as he walks on the catwalk. Ever the classy lady, she shoves derpy Woody Allen into her cleavage, who proceeds to throw up in it. Then we get this attractive show, and open to a scene that's not safe for work, but safe for laughs. Carmen and Electra's shell steals the scene.
Are you crazy? Your big old titty's hanging out.
And John gets hit on by a very statuesque woman. This, I don't know why it's in there. I don't know why. It never goes anywhere, but I guess for laughs, right? John runs to her rescue and helps her lick her wounds and the plate at a diner, where his thinly veiled advice backfires and, of course, sends her into the arms of a stranger. This should be fun. Rebecca's excellent life choices continue as she apparently accepted drugs from a stranger, who has an icebox where her dignity should be. And then he asks her to meet into his bedroom with a package from the freezer. And then this happens.
Time to go fishing, baby. Touch my bass, Rebecca. Touch my bass! Touch my fucking bass! Please. Touch my bass.
And 3 days pass, where quote number 3 happens.
Did you sleep with Charlie the tuna last night, or do you need to douche?
And finally, Rebecca's depression is scared away. She can't escape the events of 3 days prior. Chrissy has an audition and helps Rebecca by tripping up Richard's date. Rebecca then has a hilarious and gross accident at a grocery store, which results in her stealing what are either supersized maxi pads or mattresses for kittens. Word gets to Shell, and magic seems to be on Rebecca's side in the form of Guillermo Diaz, playing an off-the-wall magician. Boy, oh boy, is he a long way from scandal. I bet this role will never be on his reel. Though it is well acted. Well, we all gotta slim it sometimes. Rebecca gets ready, calls her mom, and they exchange farts.
Oh, mercy.
Mom's is better.
Ha!
Because hilarious. She then struggles to get in jeans for the trailer. This 4th quote happens.
Smaller. Carrie didn't tell me that her jeans were size -4.
they're baggy on me.
John is jealous of the magician. Alright, let's blast through this part. During the filming, the production ran out of money, according to the commentary. Yes, I listened to it. And in between takes of this scene, they had to try to find new funds, and it shows. This whole sequence with the magician drags, it isn't very funny. The acting is fine, but it just doesn't have the energy or the punch that the rest of the movie. It's almost redeemed by this body cavity search in the police station. Almost. Also, this photo will be my new screensaver. Rebecca gives up on love. Or so it seems. Somewhere between being in prison and being released from prison, John sells his guitar for a lot of money. It's not that it's rare, which seems like a more likely scenario than whatever the movie tries to shove down our throats. I mean, there's suspending disbelief and there's whatever this is. Apparently, the owner of the pawn shop has been looking for this guitar for his entire life because it's named after his wife. I don't know. It's really loose. Like, just sell the guitar for money and have it be worth something. But you know, love, right? That dirty, dirty love. Muddying up my plot. We pick up 2 weeks later as the girls get ready to go to a Sum 41 concert. En route to the concert, Rebecca comes to John's defense after he is heckled. She then sort of flirts with him. At the bar, this toast happens. Which means, of course, more shenanigans. Richard shows up, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman shows up, and John is kidnapped. Rebecca drinks herself into that girl. Michelle ain't here for that. Carrie flirts for a part with not Kevin Smith. And then Rebecca has another dreamy hallucination, which is interrupted by John coming to the rescue. Rebecca, then distraught, runs out of the club and onto the motorcycle of a befuddled passerby. Carrie finds out that Silent Bob is a dick. At this stranger's house, Rebecca can't seem to hump the pain away. and coming full circle does a walk of shame on the walk of fame again. Then back to the apartment to find out that John has purchased all new equipment for her. What happens here is the cinematic equivalent of the most heart-wrenching no, but thank you ever. John and his mangled ego leaves, and Rebecca drives the neighborhood until she finds him where it seems his grand gesture wasn't clear enough, so he finally pours his heart out verbally, because coming to her rescue countless times, enabling her to act like a sexualized toddler, and funding her livelihood isn't clear enough. All that, and she can't seem to see that this man is in love with her. Okay. So she rejects him for the second time in, let's say, 15 minutes, and he's frustrated, walks off, hops onto a rare unicorn-like Los Angeles bus. Uh-oh, but what's this? The would-be stick in the mud left something in the mud. A shoe. A white pony sneaker. Subtle. Rebecca notices the shoe and has her aha moment here. Like this.
White pony.
She chases and catches the just departing bus by stopping it with her body. Like literally. John walks off. They kiss. There are literal fireworks. And it ends. Yeah, right. This relationship ain't lasting. Good luck, John. So why don't we watch this? I love this movie. It's quotable. It's executed nicely. Visually, it's bright. It's fun. It's a raunchy comedy as seen through rose-colored glasses. It's exactly how Jenny McCarthy presented herself at the time. Even with the fantastical cutaways, it just reminds me of like the exaggerated passages in the David Sedaris memoir. Not as good, but I see what they're trying to do there. Truth is stranger than fiction in his case. In this case, this is absurd, but in a good way. Crass, but with a ton of heart. Find this movie, sit down with your BFF or sassy gay friend, and learn some new inside jokes. Hey guys, Maiku here. Thanks for watching. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and like, and also be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You can try to find me on Facebook, but good luck. Next week, we will be doing hopefully another Let Me Finish as well as another Why We Watch. I'm going to try to bang out 2 of these every week and see what happens. So thank you so much for your time. There's also some creepy things that kind of happen during the filming of this video, so be on the watch at the end of this for some outtakes. Thanks. Bye. Try to do 2. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Next week, we're going to try to do another Let Me Finish and maybe another Why Don't We Watch.